You're listening to 1100 KFNX. This is the Locksmith Show. If you'd like to call in, our local line is 602-277-5369, and our national line is 866-536-1100. Now here are the Locksmiths.
Welcome to the Locksmith Show. This is Andrew. We are broadcasting out of the Arizona Professional Locksmith Association studios inside KFNX. Charley is out sick today. He was in here earlier, but not feeling good, so he took off. Andrew is with me. How are you, Andrew?
Good. How you doing today, man?
Not too bad.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
So we have a little bit of change up on the show. We're going to stay with some of the theme that we broadcasted earlier on our Facebook page. We'll talk about residential security. So, how do people get into your house? How do you think, Andrew?
I mean, definitely windows are generally the vulnerable access points. You forget that you opened it up and closed it and didn't lock it again, things like that. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm missing, but I would say off top, that's probably one of the best.
That and the front door, actually.
Really?
Is one of the biggest ones. They do go through the front door quite
Just
a bit.
Kicking it through?
Yeah. Move this flag out of the way for a second. Windows are another big thing. So we put window locks in. They also have Charley bars that go, ironically enough, Charley's not here, but
There you go.
they
Maybe he's stuck in a sliding glass window somewhere.
no, he's not stuck in a sliding glass window anywhere. A little under the weather. No, but the Charley bar can go in your sliding glass back door.
Okay.
It can fold down and work very similar to a dowel in there. A little bit more security in the middle of the door instead of on the bottom of the door, and it kind of latches to the door itself and not just flying around in the track in the bottom.
Right, which still makes it you could rock those ones out still, right?
On the dowel ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the Charley bar, it's
It's going to stay in because it's not going to. Well, it's not going to come out. There's a little lock that holds it in place.
Oh, okay.
So you flip this little switch on it, and you can pull that out and lift the Charley bar back up. So it's a lot harder to get them to fall out. They also make, I think it's something called slide lock. I'm trying to remember if that's the name of it, but they can match it in the color of your door, and it has an up and lower lock, and it also works as a handle.
Oh, okay.
So it's that's a really good thing to put on the back door, and it's rather easy to install. The average consumer can install it. I think it takes 4 screws altogether. Basically a little power drill and a couple self-tappers that it comes with. It can go on in about 10, 15 minutes. Then you notch out a little thing in the wall, and there's 2 more screws that screw into the wood, and that's really about all that takes to go in there. So, and then another big thing out there is security on your doors, your keys. We have locks that can be bumped. Everybody's heard of those. The same locks that can be picked. Some of the new locks that they came out with can't be picked or bumped, but they can be defeated in other destructive methods that still allow a key to work.
Right.
You know, and then we could get around that. We get into high security locks that can go on doors. Multi-lock is something I sell quite a bit of. Excuse me. As well as ASA, and Jim at Copper State was talking about another new ASA alloy lock that's out that he's looking at picking up and start doing a little bit more of.
Right.
I'm very interested in seeing that.
And now that's the specialty there is the keyway.
The keyway and how it works.
Okay.
It's a hard lock to pick. You need a special tool to pick it. I haven't really seen the lock yet, so I don't know how to attack it with picking any type of technique with it or any type of tool that there would be out that would be able to do anything with it yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm interested in seeing it because they make other picks for multi-lock. They make picks for ASA. They make picks for all sorts of other locks out there because they've been out long enough. Somebody's made something that they could pick a lock with. Now, is it something you could do very easily? No, not at all. So if somebody's put a high security lock in your house, don't freak out that I've said that because it's still very hard to pick that lock.
You have to have a skill.
You'd have to be very skilled, and most locksmiths aren't even going to try. They're going to try to drill out the lock if they have to get in that way. Or most of them will find a different access point to the house that's going to be less destructive than breaking that lock.
Sure. So similar to that job that we showed up to with that commercial door that was bolted down in every which way. You said they're going to drive a car through the roller door before they try to get through that door.
Yeah, it was screwed in 3 different places from the front, back, and had a wrap that went around it.
Right.
Yeah. No, they were not getting that door open because we couldn't even come close to getting the door open without taking another 20 or 30 screws out, I think. So it was more part of the wall at that point.
So I can't directly find the story that our local news, actually almost all of them did it, but it looks like the West Valley, I believe it was, is looking to talk to a guy who is walking up driveways to garage doors and then strolling away. Have you heard anything on that one?
No.
I'm gonna try to pull up the article here. I'm searching around, but yeah, he's walking up to driveways and kind of he has no reason to be at the property, no clipboard in hand to sell anything or anything like that, and then just kind of strolls away. And cops just want to kind of talk to the guy. So what do you think he might be doing there, Andrew? Specifically garages. He doesn't even try to access doors or gates or anything like that. He just walks up towards the garage door and then walks away.
I don't know if he's trying to steal a signal from the garage door opener.
Okay.
Or run a code on it. But, there's a lot of guys who sit down the street with connections that will take up your garage door opener signal. That's something that still happens. There's a new thing out that they're doing that with cars as well. But from what I understand, they don't even need to steal the signal. They can get into the car with their own little signal. It just pushes hundreds of thousands of signals in seconds and trips the car.
Okay, so they have a device in their hand that they're able to just hold, and it'll find the signal in order to unlock the doors or open the garage.
Trying
or
something like that, or maybe he's trying the car and he's listening for cars to go off. That's why he's walking up to the garage.
Okay, trying to see if he can find out what's inside of it, maybe.
I don't know why somebody would be just walking up to the garages.
I think that's why
they're catching him on security cameras in people's houses.
No, actually, to what I saw from the little briefing, it was before we came down to the studio, but it was basically looked like maybe a neighbor or somebody who did live there, kind of just caught him from their driver window, snapping a picture of him walking down the driveway.
But then he just went to the next house,
and then I guess that it's been reported. In several neighborhoods of this guy, this same looking guy. I mean, he's not holding a clipboard. He doesn't have a hat. He's kind of an exposed citizen that just walks up people's driveways and then walks back down.
No.
So,
if you guys see this guy, call your local police department so they can go see what he's doing.
Definitely question him.
Hopefully, nothing that we don't want. I hate going to break-ins, especially in people's houses because. I've had to fix many things where they've had everything stolen and they weren't insured, or little things that more than anything, it's the keepsakes that you get from other family members, and to have somebody come in and steal great grandma's wedding ring, from 1922, you're not ever going to get that back.
Yeah, that's the big thing, man. I moved from Phoenix out to the North Bay up in San Francisco. Last year. Yeah. And while I was out there, we were in an okay neighborhood. It's still tough up in that area, but I made the one big mistake of leaving a briefcase on the back seat of my car. And the next morning we woke up and went outside, and there was a nice giant hole through the passenger side of my window. Mm-hmm. And the guy used the technique of just taking a screwdriver. I got tinted windows on it, but he just took the screwdriver and leaned into the window and let the tint hold the glass together as he pushed through it, and he slid right in and grabbed my box. And it had my parents' old wedding rings in it, and memorabilia pictures of my dogs and trophies that I got and things like that. He got nothing important, and I lost everything that was important to me.
Exactly, and that's what we need to try to stop now. Leaving some of that stuff in your car is kind of silly sometimes.
Exactly.
And never do that, people out there. Christmas, we hear that at Christmas time all the time.
Right.
People will go buy lots of gifts. They're going out shopping. They're at 10 different malls. And there's 30, 40 people a day that are having their trunks broken into and just everything stolen.
Leave it in the car so the kids don't find out. And then the kids never get it.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be right back. We got our commercial break. We are back with the Arizona Professional Locksmith Association studios here, live in KFNX, downtown Phoenix, or uptown, however anybody.
Midtown, yeah.
Midtown somewhere. Palm and Third. Back to residential stuff. I think our producer in the other room had a question that he wanted to ask.
Yeah, guys. Just as your average Joe that doesn't know any better, I had somebody actually break into my house once through the doggy door. Do you guys have any recommendations on how to lock those down so that people don't come through when you're out of town? You know, just keeping those things secured.
Doggy doors. Those are one of the biggest entry points.
Really?
Yes. And that one kind of slipped my mind until I see them.
Okay.
Not a lot of people have them anymore, but the people that have really big dogs, people can get through your doors. We were at one of our friends' house the other day. Me and my significant other were helping them wash dogs. She's a dog groomer, and we were over at one of my close friends' house washing some dogs that were, 100-pound dogs, big boys, big boy and girl, a couple girls and a boy.
Yeah.
And I could probably walk through that doggy door.
Wow. Okay.
The little dog walked through it, and he was like a tin can going through, a huge mountain cavernous hole. So he just walked right in. But that's the downfall. People can slip in there, grab anything they want, walk right out the door.
Right.
Or go right back through the doggy door and don't even open your doors. You have no idea. Now, what I tell people to do, if you have an old doggy door, I would suggest getting a new one installed.
Okay.
Because they do have other techniques to lock them up a little better. But I'm still not a big fan of them. But they have plastic on them, and they can be hit pretty hard and be broken. Now, they do make some newer ones that have metal, but if you end up with one with a plastic door on it, the trim is metal that it goes into most of the time. So I would suggest taking that door and going down to a fabrication shop and getting them to cut you a piece of metal that can go slide into the door and install a padlock on it so it can't be lifted out again.
That'll reinforce
the door to hopefully not allow anybody to get in.
And provide a lock.
Yeah. Now, hopefully your dogs don't like strangers coming in, because if you've got a door that big, hopefully your dog is that big and he doesn't like anybody, or she doesn't like anybody that they don't know, and they'll take a bite out of crime themselves.
There you go.
Crime dog. But you said you found the gentleman, well, not gentleman, let's say butthead.
Yes.
This guy is going into people's garages now. They've come up with
right. There's a correction on the story here. So it is West Valley. It's in Avondale here. It looks like police want to talk with a man who is casing garages in Avondale.
Oh, I thought we had his name. Maybe.
What's that?
Maybe I got casing mixed up with his name. I thought that might have been a last name, but
oh no. Yeah.
I thought you said another name.
I don't think we have a name at all. But basically, what it looks like is that some surveillance videos and some kids actually have came face to face, and this guy's been recorded basically going into open garages and quickly stealing things with nobody looking. It looks like this victim in particular, he made off with a $200 electric scooter. And says that Miles says that his kids nearly came face to face with the suspect moments before their home surveillance system caught him walking up their Avondale home in the 2600 block of 109th Drive. Oh, so definitely the people on the west side, our listeners out there, definitely keep your garage shut. And if you see this gentleman, he looks like a rather maybe 5'6", 5'8", heavier Mexican, brown hair, brown eyes. Wearing regular dicky pants and shoes and a blue shirt. I mean, nothing, no clipboard, nothing to look like he's a worker or anything. Just average guy walking up to garages and taking what he sees valuable. So,
and any of those workers are going to be wearing, if they're out there, they're probably a city worker,
right?
Water worker, somebody else checking something. And they're going to have a clipboard. They're going to knock on your door. Or if you ask them, they're going to tell you who they are. They'll probably have a badge on them.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, keep an eye out for somebody who looks suspicious, guys walking up to people's doors and doesn't look like they're supposed to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
And that goes to, show you, keep your garage doors closed.
Right. And then even on top of it, more so is like the people that we've been coming across lately who don't even lock the inner door that leads into the actual house from the garage. They think, the garage door will secure that door, which is preposterous.
No, it's not going to do anything, guys. Your garage door is electronic, unless you go inside and you unplug the garage door every night. There's still ways of getting through it.
Right.
Always lock the door from your garage to your house. And it is. It's almost every person we talk to because most people, what gets me is they don't even know that there's a lock on the door.
Right.
That's what gets me. Well, there's no lock on that door. Oh, it's been there since the house was there. I guarantee it.
Actually, there's probably
Unless you've
two.
changed it. Yeah, there's probably two. You probably have a deadbolt on the door as well. So, and yeah, scooters and lawnmowers and yard trimming things, tillers, small items that they can run in and grab and run away with. They're going to do that.
Definitely.
Skateboards, snowboards, skis.
Right.
And those are high-ticket items in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
Golf clubs are big here. And still, if you put your car in your garage, lock your car. Because if they get in your garage, they can't get inside your car.
Or at least the alarm will go off
Yes.
when it is triggered. Exactly.
And don't hang your keys on the garage wall.
On the inside the garage. Make
Or
sure
even
those-
inside the door, unless you lock the door.
Yeah.
So
Put those in the access point or somewhere over there. Exactly.
someplace that somebody's not going to just open the door and say, oh, here's the keys to every car in this garage. And
Right.
we're going to load it up with all your stuff and we're leaving.
Furthering that topic, you have to look at your property as well. Make sure that there's not a large tree that's blocking, the side garage door where a person can have coverage to get over there and, mess around with your door a while, but be protected by that tree while they're doing it. Or, a shorter fence that they can jump into your backyard and get access to one of those doors back there without being seen and things like that. So,
Well, and camera systems have come a long way over the last few years.
yes.
With computer technology greatly getting bigger and faster and more inexpensive available for people, those type of things that are in the movies that can alert you that somebody's in the camera view, they do make those.
Right.
They do make cameras that can tell you how tall that person is. They can make a camera that can tell you how heavy that person is.
Or they can grab the license plate of a car that drives by or parks in front or anything like that.
And anybody who thinks that license plates are private, or if you have any private of being on your private property or even in public, you facing a public street with a camera, you have no privacy when you are in public.
Let's just remember that in Arizona, at least, I know in other states it might be different, but in Arizona, you don't even own the license plate. When you sell that vehicle, the license plate has to go back to the DMV.
Or you keep the license plate.
For a new vehicle.
For a
But
new vehicle.
let's say if you were to sell the vehicle and not have another vehicle, that plate has to go back once that registration comes up.
Yeah.
I actually got pulled over because I had a friend who had sold me the vehicle on a payment plan. I had finished paying her off, but I hadn't made it to the DMV to transfer the title, or the MVD out here as they call it, to transfer the title yet. And she had already told the MVD that she had sold the vehicle. And so the plates were listed as invalid and stolen because they were property of the MVD. So I got pulled over. The officer was rather nice. It was up in North Scottsdale off of Cactus and Tatum. And he pulled me over into a little neighborhood. I had a long 95 Lincoln Town Car. And he came up to me and, said, hey, yeah, these plates are registered as stolen. They're owned by the MVD. They're actually not registered to any vehicle currently. I said, oh, yeah, I haven't made it over there yet. Showed him the title and everything. He said, oh, okay, well, definitely get that taken care of because right now you're driving a stolen vehicle with stolen government plates. That just looks bad.
Surprised he didn't take the plate from you at that point and tell you to go print a temporary plate.
Yeah, I think it's because of the fact that they're kind of the intermediator between the two of them and not directly involved with the, it's not a department of them. But I think if so, then yeah, they probably would have.
I remember the city of Mesa used to go through in a parking lot in downtown Mesa, kind of by the Nile Theater. And,
Okay.
I used to work next door to it at a video editing movie company. We used to sell videos to video stores.
Right.
When we used to have VHS tapes. That's how long ago that was. But over there, they used to go through the parking lot, and if your tags were expired, your plate was gone.
Wow.
You'd walk out there, and you'd have no plate on your car.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, they were taking the plates off the cars, and it expired. A lady happened to her when I was working. She's like, I knew they were going to do it. I knew it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they took her plate because it was 2 months old.
That's crazy.
So, keep your plates up, guys. Some cities like to take plates.
Definitely.
But back to security in homes, one thing that I would love to talk about is safes.
Okay.
Everybody needs one. You can keep your valuables in it. You hide it. You put it somewhere. It's way too much work for a guy to go into a safe unless they have all day and all night to get into it.
Okay. So I just run down to Walmart right there over by the hardware section. They got those little safes. Just grab one of those little safes.
Or Harbor Freight,
Harbor Freight. Okay, that one too.
No, you got to get yourself a safe.
That's the safe you're talking about? Or?
No. We're talking about AMSAC. We're talking about Liberty.
Okay.
Canon, some of the Winchester gun safes. There's lots of safes that gun safes. People think that's all they're for.
Right.
No. You can actually take all of that shelving out of it, put a whole different shelving unit in it, and you got yourself a safe that'll last you a lifetime. That can be serviced. It can be repaired if it needs to be opened and fixed. There's so much stuff to a good safe that will last a person a lifetime. And they can hand it down to their kids, and it'll still work then.
Yeah.
So safes are built still very good.
So I've got a birth certificate, a social security card, some important documents, and some jewelry from weddings that I've been in, and things like that. I need this 5-foot safe to put that in, or
absolutely.
There's no smaller safes.
They make smaller safes, but my thing that I tell people all the time: you buy the safe that you're going to buy.
Okay, so you buy a safe for life.
You buy a safe for life.
Okay,
and you could on a smaller safe, you're going to spend $200, $300 on a cheap one. You're going to spend $1,000 on that same safe for the same size and a nice one. $1,800 to $2,500, you're going to get yourself a good sized gun safe. Now you can get up to $5,000 to $10,000. So we'll be back after this commercial break. We'll talk about safes some more. I want to welcome you back to the Locksmith Show here, live inside the Arizona Professional Locksmith Association studios, live inside KFNX. Our call-in numbers are 602-277-5369, and you can call us toll-free at 1-866-536-1100. Safes.
We got about 25 minutes left here. We also are doing the free keys in the parking lot as well.
No,
it wouldn't be available today, but any other weekend it's generally available.
Yes, I did not bring my van in today, and Charlie
left early, so we definitely don't have that available today, guys. But I do have a question for the listeners. If anybody does want to call in, we would be interested in knowing: do you want to hear just about locksmith scams, or would you like to hear about scams all in general?
That's a good question. There's lots of scams.
Throw that out there, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely talk about that.
But yeah, safes.
Back to safes on the residential side. I suggest everybody gets one. I've been saying that for years. I own a few of them myself.
Right.
And you're going to start keeping more things in it than you think once you start having it. You got kids, you're going to keep medicine away from them.
Okay.
You've got guns, you want to keep that away from children as
Definitely.
well. Not just your keepsakes. One thing I tell people all the time, they want to keep all their pictures in there to keep them safe. Well, in the world that we live in now, you should have those all digitized.
Right.
There's lots of companies that do it for almost nothing.
Or your cell phone almost does just as great of a job.
Your cell phone, or you got a teenage kid, you give them a computer for Christmas, and you give them a box of pictures, and you tell them scan all these in.
Go to town.
Yeah, my dad's done I think almost 13,000 pictures of my family and put them up online now in a directory of on our family server stuff that we have up there, not in Google, but we're web designers, so we have places elsewhere, but you can log in if you're a family member.
Yeah, on an intranet, right?
Yeah, and log in and on your phone go through pictures from 100 years ago.
Nice. From
some of our family. It's amazing. But back to the safes. I tell people, open safe up. They've got all these things in there. Run them down to a digitizer.
Mm-hmm.
Get them digitized. Other things that I see people keep in safes. I saw a lady keep her whole wedding dress in a safe.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Right next to her husband's shotguns.
Yeah.
So there's a little hanger in there, and there was a wedding dress. She pulled it out, and it was in there. She wanted to keep that safe.
Just as important as the guns.
Just as important as the guns, And nobody's going to go for your safe. unless they know what's in it and they want that. And the average person doesn't have that much valuable stuff in the safe. It's more of their keepsakes. If you have a fire, it's going to stay in just fine. You get a fire rated safe, 45 minutes to an hour. Most fires here in Arizona burn for about 30 minutes on your house from start to finish. By the time the fire department gets there and puts it out, everything inside the safe, you may have to have one of us come out to open the safe up because it's been burnt and the dials are all broken.
Right.
But all of the things inside are going to be still there, intact, looking the way they were.
Perfectly fine.
So,
2-story house, downstairs or upstairs?
Concrete floor.
Wherever there's concrete.
Preferably.
Okay.
So you can bolt it down to the floor. They can go upstairs. We move space up and downstairs all the time. We just did one in Payson.
Right.
We ended up moving that out the back door and only up a couple steps instead of 14 steps up the other way. But, yeah, safes can go on either floor. I preferably bolt them down to a concrete floor because they're not going to come up.
So on the second floor, you'd be anchoring it into
the floor.
That like basically subspacing, right?
Yeah. It would go in there and you're going to want to try to hit a stud for the flooring. But
I mean, simple enough. If you can get that thing to tip over, it's going to just rip the floor out with it, right?
Yeah, but you're going to have to get it to tip.
Okay.
And it's screwed in from the inside, so you're going to have to get up, and we can bolt them into the floor that they're not going to come out again, even on a regular floor, unless you open them up and unscrew them.
Okay.
So you'd be breaking the floor out, and, by that time, the safe's going to weigh more, and you're breaking the wood, the safe's going to fall down to the second story. So, and nobody's doing that. I have yet to see somebody go that hard on a residential safe.
To try to, get a residential safe, exactly.
Now,
I mean, I've seen the crazy videos of them, putting a chain around the ATM machines in corner stores and things like that and dragging it out with trucks,
Yeah.
So.
And the silly thing is there's not more than much $2,000 inside of those things at any given moment.
Mm-hmm. And you're committing $40,000 in property damage too.
Yeah, to get $2,000 makes 0 sense.
Right.
So, but same with the guy who goes and robs a store clerk with $100 cash in his cash drawer at Circle K at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid. Like the guy that just shot those 2 people here the other night.
Right.
2 a.m, 2 different, I think 10 miles from each other at 5
Working
miles.
at Circle K.
Where, why are you messing with the guy at Circle K? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got the money. If you didn't get the money, try the next one that they give you the money. Why you gotta?
And if somebody's pointing a gun at you and tells them to give you money, you just give them the money.
Oh yeah, I mean any employer will tell you that for sure.
Nothing's worth the money to get shot over.
We got
not
insurance
at all.
for that reason. Yeah.
Your life's not worth $100.
Never.
No.
For a made up number.
Yeah.
No. Let it go.
Let it go. And that guy's going to get what's coming to him eventually.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, safes in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest it all. They keep all of your stuff good during a fire. They're going to keep anything that somebody comes in and steals. If somebody breaks into your house, they're going to go right past it. And the other thing I tell people is hide it. Put it somewhere that people don't go.
Yeah, we've. I'm not going to share any, but we've definitely had a lot of very interesting stories shared with us on what people have been doing with their safes and some things that I never really thought of. Yeah, you could do the very easy tactics to completely disguise it and make people
Just
pass
walk
it
right
by
past
like
it.
it's a piece of garbage.
Well, and that's pretty much what you're looking to do. with
Exactly.
it, because if nobody knows what it's there, they're not going for it. They're going to go for the quick and easy stuff. Home alarms are amazing to have, monitored as well.
Right.
Just make sure your kids understand how to use it so they're not setting it off and raking up a bill for you because the police department is showing up at your house and your kids walked in the door.
So digital or mechanical?
Safe?
Yeah.
Either. They've come a long way with digital ones. They're just as secure, if not secure in some aspects.
Okay.
And the reason I say secure, because if you're trying to go for a gun quick because somebody is in your house and you don't have one in a place, you can get
17,
into
37, 14.
Exactly. You can get into an electronic dial rather quickly and be inside in 4 seconds and have a gun in your hand. Where the electronic or the mechanical dial, unless you're really fast, probably 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we all remember the high school days of trying to get from one class to the next, right?
Going to our lockers. And safes are a lot more than the 1-2-0 turn.
Okay.
It's 3-2-1.
Oh, wow.
And there's no play.
Okay.
You have to be on the number.
Land on that.
Unless you have an older safe and it's kind of worn out and the wheels kind of go a little bit.
Okay.
But if you've got a new safe, if you're at 60 and a half and your number's 60, it may not open.
Right.
So,
do you think that's why they gave us lockers in high school to train us how to open safes?
no.
No, because they didn't teach us
I
economics,
think they
right?
gave us. No, they did not teach us economics. And I think they gave us lockers in high school because they just wanted us to keep our books in there. I don't know. I don't know why they gave us lockers in high school, because they were always beat up.
To progress the
30 years
chiropractic industry.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, you're small enough, you can climb in them and hide.
There you go.
I'm not going to lie that I didn't do that in high school. So
Yeah, we had the full size lockers in Utah, so you literally could stand in that thing rather comfortably if you were under 6 feet tall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, we had the half ones, the up and bottom ones. So they were about 4 feet tall each.
Yeah, as a height stricken Guamanian, I was shoved into lockers a lot, but what people didn't realize is I was actually rather comfortable inside of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, safes keep the valuables inside.
Keep the valuables. Now we can even go a step further. So if we get a gun safe, we can get a Century firebox. That's what I call them. They're just fireboxes. The one with the little key, the file folders.
Mm-hmm.
You could get one of those. You could throw all your kids' birth certificates, your birth certificate, your house deed, your car titles, anything that's paper that you don't want to burn. I can't talk today. Paper burns at 350 degrees. You put a piece of paper in the stove and you put it at 355, give it about 20 minutes, it'll start on fire.
Okay.
Now, your safe is like a stove. It's a big metal box. So if there's a fire going around it, there's a rating in the inside of the safe that the temperature will not exceed 350 degrees for X amount of minutes. Most gun safes are 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
The Century fireboxes are 2 to 3 hours on some of them. So if you go get yourself a Century firebox and have a gun safe, you throw all your paperwork inside of that, it's going to be fine. You've got like a 3-hour rating. Now, if you didn't pay your bill and you're in rural Arizona, your house is going to burn to the ground. That's the way that works here. You don't pay your fire bill, they let your house burn.
Right.
It's sad, but that's what happens.
Right.
So, so then, if you had all of that in your house burned to the ground after 3 hours of it burning, that stuff would still be safe in the inside of it. You'd be able to open it up and pay your bill next time.
Right.
So, we got our last commercial break before the end of our show. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Locksmith Show. We are live inside the Arizona Professional Locksmith Association. Let's talk about the Arizona Professional Locksmith Association here the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
We had our new member, Corey Barr, from Old Glory.
Old Glory Locksmith in Glendale.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to have a couple of meetings with him. Newer at the locksmithing industry, but a great residential and commercial locksmith.
Right, a veteran who got into it. He was doing house flippings and things like that and decided that, hey, I could fix those locks, so I might as well try to jump into that.
And realized that he enjoyed it and he was pretty good at it.
Pretty good at it, yeah.
So
definitely.
He's done pretty well.
Right.
So
very very knowledgeable guy, and if he doesn't know what he's doing, he stops and looks for help rather than just hacking it up like we've been going around and cleaning up around town, it seems like.
Yeah, that
Another-
Thumbtack, guys.
yeah.
Thumbtack can be good for certain things. Thumbtack is a internet directory of locksmiths and service and
Service finder, exactly.
well, not even just my other business, the recording studio's on it. I guess that could run under services, but they have video editing, any I guess any type of business out there that sells directly to the public. You can get put up on there, and you, as the business owner or the business, buys leads on giving somebody a quote on what to do the job.
Buy bids.
Yeah.
Let's not get in trouble with Thumbtack, all right?
Buy bids.
We buy bids, and you place a bid for a lead.
Whatever.
Right, but
and not to blame Thumbtack for any of this at all, but there was a gentleman who went to a business that decided to take out a very expensive metal door mortise lock made by Best, which is about an $849 lock just for the lock alone before you get any of the handles for it or anything.
Right.
Decided to change that style lock, which they make the same exact style lock, change it to different functioning. You have a classroom, a storeroom, and an entry lock.
Okay.
And they do make all of those in that same style mortise body. This guy decided to put a commercial grade lever on that functions differently than the one that was on there, which was right. He did what the customer wanted, but he destroyed the door putting that other lock on when he could have had the customer spend a little bit more money and get the right body for it, so he didn't have to drill more holes, get all crazy with the lock. And
yeah, he destroyed the lock as well, too, right?
He destroyed the lock and the door.
Yeah, mutilated the lock.
So, basically it cost the customer $3,000 if you look at it, both sides of it, because I've had to order a new lock to go up there and repair the whole door, and he drilled a bunch of holes in the door that didn't need to be in the door, so now I have to put a cover plate over the top of those, and yeah, it's a couple-hour job for me to do, maybe 3. By the time it's said and done, we got a big stainless steel plate that we have to cover on both sides of the door, and stainless steel is not fun to cut through.
Right.
So
unfortunately, it comes back to the fact that a lot of these people are not aware. They're putting up these directories and allowing the opportunities for these guys to post these jobs, so to speak, or that they have these skills. He was registered as a certified locksmith that obviously did not have any form of certification, nor did he have much locksmith knowledge, it seems.
Well, and in our state, there is no such thing as a certified locksmith.
Right.
Now, if he had a certification coming from one of the national agencies, I would really question how he passed the test.
How he passed the test, exactly.
If he even passed the test.
But I think, again, this faults back to the fact that Thumbtack isn't aware of what exactly the locksmith industry entails and are just saying, hey, if you're a locksmith, here, go ahead and put your services up here and we'll display it out to our people. Again, providing another avenue for these scammers to advertise on,
yes.
Which is a big reason that the association was created, to seek out and find the legitimate locksmiths in the Valley and Arizona in general, band them together to work together on knowing, yes, that guy down the street is a legitimate locksmith and has competitive prices. Welcome to business, guys. That's kind of what happens. But at the end of the day, let's not let the consumer be told the lowest amount of bid to be hit for hundreds or $1,000 over what the price point should have been for the job completed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've it's been quickly expanding, actually.
Yeah.
As soon as we started pushing the association, guys really started understanding what we're trying to do, and it's definitely picking up some wheels here. I think it's definitely a benefit for us to be able to talk to the locksmiths and figure out where exactly the industry should be heading and how exactly you guys want it to see it progress in Arizona, so that it stays a industry by the people, since there's not much that is by the people for the people anymore.
No,
but you guys are really a tight-knit society.
Yeah, and we have been for a long time. The creation of YouTube and some other stuff has broadened our horizons with other people out there teaching things. So, it used to be a hush-hush industry. We'll show you what you know, but you have to earn your way into it. You can go out and watch a lot of videos and learn how to fix locks and other things. I'm out there posting videos as well on how to do certain things. So if you're a DIY guy, go search out me, Andrew's Lock and Key on YouTube. You'll find this show, and you'll also find lots of shows about key machines and me taking locks apart. I think I just fixed the Honda ignition on one of the newer videos. But it's opened the horizons for people to learn the industry. So you have a lot of people who think they're locksmiths, and there's a lot of guys who are legitimate guys that are learning, that are doing the same thing that some of the scammers are, but they're not going to charge you $1,000 to destroy your door. They're going to be calling a legitimate guy over to give him a hand,
right?
If they know them. And, that's how we work in our industry.
Exactly.
There's lots of guys that I've known for the last 16 years. They're really good friends of mine. And I call them on an everyday basis or every other day basis to say, hey, how's it going? you know, or they call me, hey, I need some help on this, or I need some help on that. You want to come give me a hand?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, it's a never-ending learning process with that. I've seen that, and
an automotive is never-ending money pit for us too. It's always expanding and changing, and you know, I hate to say it, guys. You think your car keys are cheap? They're not anymore.
Right? No,
They're not anymore at all.
With the security features that are being put into it, I mean, it's rapidly progressing to where you guys are losing money just as soon as you accept the call, because you know the machines that you have to plug in that are going to cost you a token, which represents money, and everything. You know, your transponder key, which represents money, and everything like that. So
you know, we do get them at a good price for when we buy such in large bulk. But you know, if I gave everything away for free, I wouldn't make any money and be able to put food on the table for my family.
Well, right,
you know?
and it's not how business operates.
Never how business operates. But a lot of people always look for that open hand. You know, I quoted a guy $125 at 3 o'clock in the morning, opened his car, and he told me I was too expensive. I said, well, good luck.
Too expensive is okay.
So,
I don't find that as anything that's, you know, I think that's proper to be said. I think what needs to stop being said is when somebody's quoting you a price and you say, well, can't you do that for 100? That's that. Where can you do that anywhere else in business?
Nowhere.
You can't walk into Walmart and pull a $20 shirt off the rack and walk up to the register and say, hey, I want this shirt. Can I do it for 10?
Yeah.
They're going to tell you to walk out.
They're going to laugh at you.
So why are you going to do that to a person who's providing you a service that they have studied years to, if not master, at least perfect enough to be willing to provide it to you on a professional basis?
Exactly.
Why are you going to try to discount that person for what they're providing you? If you want it discounted, then you should be able to do it yourself if you think that it's not worth the price that you're quoted, right?
Exactly. Or get it down to you know, one of my favorite things is when the customer says, well, I'll take off the lock and bring it to you. Okay. You do that. And some of them do.
Right.
Bring it into me, rekey it. I never hear from them again.
Uh-huh.
But there's the other ones that call at 8 o'clock in the morning and want that lock rekeyed. And how do you take it off? Well, take off those 2 screws. Oh, okay. 4 hours later, they call you and say, I can't get the lock off.
Right.
Nothing's working right. I don't know what I did. And then
Now
I
the
have to
door
go
won't
over.
close.
Now the door won't close. And you get there and the latch is backwards or the deadbolt's upside down or, you know, there's a number of different things, you know, and that's inexperience.
Right.
And not knowing what to do. You know, I won't fix plumbing anymore. I tried, screwed it up once, said, no, that's why we have plumbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm a locksmith, not a plumber. You know, I know lots of things to do with internet stuff and web design. I'll do that on my own. I do need to pay somebody else money to do certain things. Auto repair. I'll do an oil change on my car.
Right.
But I got to replace a water pump. I'm going to call the auto guy.
Exactly.
So same thing with the locksmiths. You can't do it. You don't tell the auto guy what you're going to charge because he ain't going to give you his car back.
Right.
So this is wrapping up the show. Thank you for listening. Again, go to the YouTube channel after this and check out some of our other videos. Andrew's Lock and Key at YouTube.
Yeah.
Charlie will be back next week. Thank you guys for listening.
We'll see you guys next week.
If you like my YouTube channel, please subscribe below. It's over here. I don't know. It's somewhere, anywhere. It's wherever they like to put it. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. Share my videos. If you have any questions, email me, andrewslockandkeyaz@gmail.com, or don't hesitate to pick up the phone. I answer my phone all the time. 480-437-4022. Thank you, and have a great day.